Survivor's ready. Go!
Travis spoken.
Boston Rob and Amber are gonna do it.
This is a business trip, as I like to say.
You, Brad Culpepper.
I'm tired of you and the fucking chicken.
You can call me the puppet master. They can be my little puppets.
It's not like you're making a deal with the devil here.
You get to milk your own milk, I guess.
Who the hell voted for me?
Chicken.
We got enough rocks here, too. We could build a pretty decent shelter just using rocks.
I'm supposed to talk glamour to you. You understand that better?
Direct from Hobart, it's time for the only Survivor podcast in Australia dedicated to Survivor, bringing you all the latest interviews, episodes and opinions from the greatest reality show on the planet. It's Survivor Oz, and here's your host, Ben Waterworth. Hello everybody and welcome back to Survivor Oz, Australia's #1 TV and film podcast, as we continue our Season 31 Second Chance campaign interviews. And I have to say, probably the most excited I will be for any of these campaign interviews, because never did I think that this person would be eligible to come back to play Survivor again. And the fact that she is, I am over the moon, and everybody here at Survivor Oz is just absolutely over the moon. She competed on the very first season of Survivor Borneo, where she was the runner-up, the one, the only, Kelly Wiglesworth. Kelly, welcome back to Survivor Oz.
Thanks, Ben. Wow, that was quite the introduction. If I can live up to all that.
I have to be biased. I have to be biased to say this. And last time I think we spoke to you, you were in Mexico, I believe.
Yes.
So you've ventured back to the States, have you?
Yeah. I had to make my way back to go do Survivor. So, but no, I do still live in Mexico.
Right. So, as I remember when we spoke last, you basically were living Survivor still, Kelly. So, you're all practiced and ready to go, aren't you, for this adventure?
I'm pretty much ready. My lifestyle hasn't changed too much.
Yeah, definitely. How did this, did it come as a bit of a shock to get this call for CBS to say, hey, do you want to come out and play this game again?
Actually, no. Weirdest thing, the last time they had asked me, I think it was right, I thought it was right around when I spoke to you last. I was about 4 months pregnant with my son, and they called, and, obviously I couldn't do it then, and they were kind of like, okay, well, when do you think you'll be ready, kind of thing, so I knew they were sort of, wanting to ask me again. But the weirdest thing, the night before I got the email, actually they emailed me, I was speaking with my sister, and we were just kind of talking, and, I kind of got on the subject, and she said, but, do you think they would, she said, do you think they would, call you again? And I said, I have a feeling they will. And she said, well, do you think you do it this time? After all this time, like, you've never gone back, do you think you would? And I said, you know what? I think I would. I don't know. I just had a feeling that it was the thing to do. And sure enough, like, next day, first morning, checked my inbox, and there was Survivor. Hey, we're trying to reach you.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's incredible, because I remember when we spoke to you, sort of when you were talking about that, how you'd sort of distanced yourself a little bit from the show, and kind of obviously you're living this amazing life in Mexico. And I remember you did say to me that you were sort of thinking that now might be the time for you to go back out there and play it again. So it's kind of sort of coming full circle now, really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know, it just feels right now.
Have you managed to now sort of catch up a little bit and sort of start watching more so of the show and kind of see how it's developed over the years now, to really see what you would be getting yourself into should you be selected to go out and play?
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm not a planner, Ben. I'm really not. And to me, I don't think you can overthink these kind of things. At least I can't anyway. I don't think you never know. It's all about the people. That's what I learned the first time around. It's not about surviving. It's not about the food. It's not about the shelter, the fire. It's all about the people and how you deal with the people and what alliances are taking place. And and you can't trust anybody. You really can't. You never know what people are really going to do. There's always surprises. So, and that's something there's no way for me to plan for. You just, go with your gut, use your instincts, and do the best you can in the moment. And that's really how I function. I can't really plan anything.
It sounds. I mean, it's
ready for a nap here.
It's all good. He's going to be missing. He's going to be missing his mum when you're out there in a couple of weeks, Kelly. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
We're being that confident, saying not if, but when you're out there in a couple of weeks.
Yes, thank you.
But I mean, it's kind of interesting because, as you explain it there, I mean, Survivor's basically remained that way for 15 years. That it is about the people essentially, and you were out there, as we talked about, of course, the first time on that first season when people were discovering this, and you in the end came one vote away from winning. So you're set. You don't need to watch these seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much know what's going on. I mean, there's been some changes in the game and, things they do differently, but, like I said, in the end, it's really just about the people.
Yeah, and I know kind of, obviously Jervis came back a couple of seasons to play for his second time after all these years away from it, and we spoke to him probably within the last few months about his time, and he talked a lot about your game and how he still thinks you, to this day, were the deserving winner of that season of Borneo. So, I mean, do you kind of... Do you look at maybe how Jervis came back and sort of spoke to him a little bit about any subtle changes maybe for what you can expect when you're out there, I should say, Kelly?
Yeah, there's definitely some little changes that everybody needs to be aware of, and I'm not going to go out there totally blind.
You got to go some preparation. I mean, you've got to go some things to expect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I think is kind of, I mean, interesting with sort of the subtle changes in terms of things like idols and things like that, which obviously play a key factor in the game. But when you look at it that way, do you think some people take that side of things a little bit too far, and that, as you said, it's really about those relationships and you don't need to get too hung up over idols and a strategy all the time?
Yeah, I think, maybe people do, worry a little more about that, but it's, you never know. I mean, with my season, it didn't matter if you won or lost, group challenges. That didn't, just because you lost a challenge, I lost the paddling challenge to Jervis, who couldn't swim at the time, and I was a river guide, so that, and I didn't get voted out that night, and I thought for sure I was, but that didn't get me kicked off, and, Stacy ate the bugs, and she got voted out that night, so you never know. I mean, winning or losing doesn't guarantee you stay or go.
Are you hoping there's going to be a river challenge sort of thing like that, Kelly, where you have to paddle that way again?
I'm hoping, but, maybe not. I don't know. I didn't win it last time. So.
You don't have Jervis out there this time, so, you don't have to...
I know, I don't. I wish I did, though. Gosh, I would love to be out there with him again.
Yeah, that would be, sort of great. I mean, it's great to see yourself and, obviously, a lot of these sort of older school players come back, but there are other people from your season that potentially could have been on the list there, Kelly. I mean, a few more Borneo people, perhaps?
Yeah. There could have been a few others. I don't know if, maybe they didn't want to come back. I don't know if it was whose decision it was, but, it'd be fun to see some old players.
Now, we don't want you to obviously name names here, Kelly, because we realise in a couple of weeks you'll be playing with these people. But, are there people you sort of look at the list that you do know of that you're sort of thinking those people would be good to work with? Maybe I need to avoid those people. Have you kind of done a bit of study on at least how they went on their seasons?
No. To be honest, no, not really. I mean, I don't know any of the other people. I mean, a few of them I think I, met, hi, nice to meet you at a reunion show or something, but I don't know any of them really at all. I haven't spent any time with any of them, and And I don't, people change, and I don't know how people really are going to be on this one versus how they were on the other one, and, so-and-so might have been loyal to so-and-so on this one, but maybe they don't want to play that way anymore. Maybe they are changing their game. So, again, I'm just reading and running.
Well, I think it's
see what happens as it unfolds.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an interesting way of going into it because that way you go in completely open. You're not letting your opinions be affected by anything like that. So, in a way, you could say that's an advantage going into the game.
Maybe, a lot of people might see it as being stupid and naive. I don't know.
I would think it would be interesting too because there's a few people on the list that are super fans of Survivor, so they're going to come in knowing who you are, which I guess, I mean, you've obviously went through a lot of that when you were on the season when it was all big and people recognising you and all that, but do you think that might be a little bit strange having these sort of super fans of the game coming up to you, wow, Kelly Wigglesworth season 1, and you're just like, hey, I'm here to play the game?
That might be kind of weird while we're actually playing the game to have that. I mean, hopefully that won't, but I mean, it's sweet and I appreciate it, and that's really cute. But hopefully we can get past that and just focus on the game.
Well, there definitely are some people that on this list. I mean, we've seen it on the most recent seasons that there's just these massive fans of the game that I feel will kind of have that reaction out there, Kelly. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I guess in terms of the campaigning, how are you finding that? I mean, you're on Twitter now, you're on Facebook, you're sort of on these outlets, which I don't know if you really had too much to do with before. Are you kind of finding it fun to be able to get out there and really push this cause to get back on the show?
Not so much fun as terrifying. Not terrifying. I don't, I mean, to be honest, it's actually my sister running it all for me, and that's fine. I totally don't mind saying that because I don't have internet where I live. I don't have TV. I barely have a cell phone. So I don't have the communication anyway to be doing all these things in the first place. And it was just really funny, the reaction. Friends of mine are like, what? You're on Facebook? That's weird. Just everyone kind of knew like something was stirring, because for me to just all of a sudden be on Facebook and Twitter, it was like, wait a minute.
Everyone's sort of asking the question. Yeah. Well, I remember when we got you on the show for the first time. It was completely by chance. I don't even know, because you had a website for your yoga, and I remember shooting out an email for you, and I remember you contacting me back saying, yeah, no, I'd love to do the interview, but I don't really have the internet. I'm in Mexico, so how are we going to do this? And we got it to work eventually. But I mean, you're used to that life out there. So again, I can just see you there in a couple of weeks out there filming this season. You're just going to feel like you're at home again, Kelly. What's different?
Yeah, not much different. I mean, but again, that's not even, the game isn't even really about the survival aspect, so I might not, I'll be used to that part, but the people, you never get used to the people.
I'm sure you'll see how it all works out, and you won't have Sue Hawk out there to be comparing you to anything, so,
No, hopefully and nobody else will take her place, hopefully.
Well, you could always do you could do what Sue did. I mean, we want you to win, of course, Kelly, but should you make the jury, you could get up there and do your speech, and you could channel your inner Sue and go off at somebody else that way.
No, I don't have an inner Sue. I don't have that.
No, inner Sue. How's the reaction then? I mean, with your sister kind of campaigning, obviously the fan reaction. Have you seen sort of a lot of what people have been posting out there? Because a lot of it has been so positive for you, Kelly. So many people out there want to see you return.
Yeah, it's been great. There's been a lot of positive feedback, and I'm super flattered, and it's overwhelming. I can't believe after all this time people, remember me and still want to see me play. So I'm thankful, and it's great.
And the reaction kind of locally too, I guess, now that you've sort of returned back to the States. I mean, I know you've obviously been out there doing a lot of campaigning with some other interviews and that, but has the sort of the local community really been getting behind you to kind of see you back out there again as well?
Oh yeah, and I mean it's great because I mean I've only been in town, 4 days, 4 days or something. Like I haven't been in America that long really, and people have been great, and I got to tell you, I had a great little interaction with a woman in Home Depot the other day, and this was just the coolest interaction that I think I've actually ever had by a fan. Just strolling into Home Depot, I had my head down looking at my list, and this lady's just cruising by me, and she just kind of, sort of out of the side of her eye kind of points and is like, oh, hey, we voted for you, by the way. And, she keeps on strolling, with her and her husband. And I was like, wait, what? Like, it took me a second because I think I just landed the night before or something. And, I was like, wait a minute, she voted? Oh, yeah. And I'm like, oh, cool. But she just, she's like, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to, I didn't want to embarrass you or bother you. And she just kind of kept on strolling. And I stopped her and said, oh, no, thank you. And what's your name? And, appreciate it and everything. So that was really sweet. That was really cool.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow, gee, everyone, just hang out in Home Depot. You might see Kelly. Who knows?
No, I know. Well, yeah, she was like, oh, I work at the women's hospital, and everyone there is voting for you, and so that that was really cool.
Well, I do have to say that a lot of Survivor fans out there on Facebook and Twitter have been sharing their votes. They've been posting the pictures of who they've been voting for, and I don't think there is one that I have seen that hasn't had you on it. So I'm pretty sure, from what I'm seeing right now, Kelly, you're pretty close. And we did a sort of an episode earlier today where we did some predictions in terms of who we think will be on it, and everybody looking at it here, we all said that you should be on this season. So, you're getting out there a lot, Kelly. People are really predicting you will be on the season.
Awesome. Well, hopefully they're right.
It's going to be interesting, I can imagine, though, too, that because we know that the cast will no doubt be announced on the night. You'll be in the audience. And, I mean, will this be your first sort of real Survivor event since the 10-year anniversary a few years back?
Yeah. Yep. That was the last one.
Wow. So it's just going to be an incredible experience no matter what.
Yeah. I know people are like, you're going out in public? Oh my God, I'm like the hermit of Mexico or something.
Yes. Well, look, you could have all of Mexico behind you. If they can vote for you, then I think you're definitely set.
Yeah, right.
That's going to be interesting.
Well, nobody even knows where I live. Nobody knows anything about it. I'm just,
just there doing the thing.
Kelly.
You're just Kelly. Yeah. And no doubt your sister, of course, as you said, she's really there pushing the campaign. So is she preparing now for you being out there in a couple of weeks and kind of making sure everything's in order for you while you're out there filming?
Oh, yeah. She's been great. She's taken the bull by the horns with this one because like I said, when the whole thing started, I wasn't even in America and I didn't even have the access. So I was like kind of worried, like, well, how am I going to, keep up with everybody else? And she's like, I got it.
She's there. She's always
and I mean, she knows me better. I mean, you might as well be talking to me. She knows me. She knows everything. And, so it's been great. My family's been incredibly supportive, and obviously, fans are being really supportive. So, I feel like I definitely made the right decision. I feel like this is the thing to do right now.
The question I have to ask, because I'm pretty sure you said to me when we spoke to you last that I don't think you'd even really watched your original season from memory. So, will you watch this if you make it on, Kelly?
Probably. Well, I won't actually be able to watch it while it's airing because I'll be back home in Mexico and we don't have access. But I'll watch it later.
That's you'll be watching your win from the comfort of somewhere nice. How does that sound?
Exact. Thank you, Ben. That's where we're going with that. That's what we want to think.
Well, we're of course we're expecting you to when you win, Kelly. I mean, you can pay a visit out here to Australia. We'll put you up. Come and celebrate the win.
I'd love to. I went there once when I was working with the E Channel, and I loved it. And you know what I love most about Australia is the people. You guys are fantastic.
We try.
I love it. Oh man, I went scuba diving at the reef, and we were, getting ready to go the day before I went skydiving around there as well, and we had lunch in this, kind of pub place, and gosh, I can't even remember. I think it was. Oh no, I ate all of my food. That's what it was. The bartender came over and he was like, "Okay, who didn't finish their food?" And I licked my plate clean, and I was looking, and he had this paddle, this big wooden paddle, he was getting ready to spank whoever didn't finish their food. And I finished mine, and he yanks me out of my chair, bends me over like a baby, and spanks the crap out of me. I mean, I'm with a wooden paddle, and I mean, it hurt, but it wasn't, too bad. But I mean, it was hilarious, and everybody was laughing, and I was just like, oh my god, it was great, and we were laughing, and I was like, you could never do that in America, not in a million years. You would have 1,000 lawsuits, but I mean, I was just like, yeah, I like this place. This is awesome.
That just happens all the time in Australia.
Great.
Yep, every time you go out for dinner.
I'm sure, yeah, I mean, it seemed like it. Nobody else seemed shocked that happened, and we went out to a bar that night and bet on frogs racing, and it was awesome. I was like, I love this place. Definitely want to come back to Australia.
Did you eat kangaroo?
I didn't.
Well, there you go.
I'm not that I know of.
There you go. We'll get you back here. We'll fly you down to Tasmania. That's where we're from down here, and we'll serve you up a kangaroo burger. How does that sound?
Is it good?
It's delicious, and I'm not just saying that.
Is it? Oh, I'm happy to try it.
Yeah,
I'd love to.
They are quite good eating, and telling you now, you will enjoy it. Think about that when you're out there filming in a couple of weeks, Kelly. Just lay there, think back, and go, kangaroo burger.
Think about my kangaroo burger. Nice.
Yep.
I will.
I expect to see that when you get your pre-season questions when they say what you take out there. I expect you to say kangaroo burger.
Kangaroo burger for sure. I will.
Fantastic. Well, we will link, of course, your Twitter, your Facebook page, everything, so people can get out there. Everybody, daily, please vote for Kelly. And again, I meant to be unbiased here. I meant to kind of, be fair and spread the word out a little bit. But I'm not for this one. I'm saying vote for Kelly Wigglesworth, because if Kelly's not on this next season, I quit Survivor Oz.
Thank you, Ben. I appreciate it, and I look forward to talking with you again.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Kelly Wigglesworth, and you all know how excited we are for this. And look, again, trying to be unbiased, but we kind of can't with Kelly, because this is one that we're pushing for very, very hard here in Survivor Oz, and we just implore you, all of you out there listening right now, vote, and make sure your vote includes Kelly Wigglesworth, because she has to be on the next season. It just has to be. That's how it is. We, of course, will be continuing our Survivor Second Chance campaign interviews. If you are listening to this via iTunes, and it's maybe the first one you've listened to, our Kimmy Kappenberg one is up, and our Teresa Cooper one, which sort of doubles up as a Worlds Apart recap, that is available online as well. We have plenty more scheduled in the coming days, so stay tuned. And again, just want to reiterate, in terms of listener questions, we do encourage you to send in questions if you have got a specific question for any of these candidates. We will only be posting online for listener questions for people that we haven't had on the show before, because we will be doubling that up as sort of our interview with them. So somebody like Keith, for example, who's only been on the show in an exit interview capacity, his interview will be combined with an interview about his time on Salman Del Sur. Same with somebody like Monica, Stephanie. These are people who have never been on Survivor Oz before, so we'll be killing two birds with one stone, getting them on the show, of course, to talk about their original seasons as well. Stay tuned. You'll see that on our website and our social media services there too. And our Survivor Second Chance analysis episode featuring myself and the outlets is also online. We predict who we think will be in the cast, and we go through each of the people and give us our thoughts and just talk all about that. And Survivor Worlds Apart hasn't finished yet, of course. We've still got 2 more weeks of that to go. Topsy and recap will be happening this week. This week's recapper actually is Cass. So again, that was always lined up, so it just happens to be that she's going to be potentially in the next season too, so we'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone there again and chat to her about this season as well as her campaign for that. And make sure you get excited as well, because the Oscars are also just around the corner. A lot happening. Survivor Oz. It's very busy, very exciting, and as always, you, the listener, keep us around. So thank you very much for tuning in and listening. We always appreciate everything that you guys do for us. This has been the Kelly Wigglesworth Survivor Second Chance campaign interview. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks to Kelly for her time. My name is Ben Waterworth. Until we next speak again, this has been Survivor Oz, and we'll speak to you next time on The Trains.